From KGW, this is The Good Stuff.
Get out there. This earth is beautiful. It's a gift to us. Take advantage of it. Don't stay in your room all the time. You know, it's wonderful to just be alive on this planet.
I love those words of encouragement tonight, coming from a Salem man who's made it his mission to explore as much of his corner of the world as possible. Thanks so much for joining us for The Good Stuff. I'm Brittany Folkers. We start tonight with another edition of our series, Let's Get Out There, and a man who embodies that spirit like few others. John Goodwin shows us how.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, of course.
The only thing that my mind is occupied with is the route that I'm going to take.
Pounding the pavement in small-town Dundee is Ed Lazzara.
I've always loved walking.
He loves it so much, people call him the Earth Walker.
And here's my map for today. So I'm going to just mark a P on the map so I remember where I parked.
Ed lives in West Salem, where in 2020 his love became a passion. Cooped up thanks to COVID, something possessed him to walk all the streets in West Salem. After several months, he had momentum, so he had to keep going.
And so I crossed the bridge over the Willamette, started walking the downtown area of Salem, and it wasn't long before I had committed to walking all of the streets of Salem.
A year and a half later, he did just that. A more casual wanderer might rest on an accomplishment like that, but this is the Earth Walker we're talking about, and the passion became an addiction.
And that was quite an endeavor. But then again, the momentum didn't die. It kept going. I had to keep going. So I decided, well, Kaiser is right next door. I might as well walk those streets. If it's a public street on the map, then I walk it. Yeah.
After Kaiser, it was Turner, Almsville, Independence, and more. Ed walks about 4 days a week if work and weather allow. A 20% chance of rain is usually his threshold.
That means probably a light drizzle. I can handle that. You know, I got my hood. I'm all ready. It's Oregon, right?
And Ed travels light with just a few essentials, including a water bottle, a pen, and of course, his map.
It just kept expanding, and I just haven't been able to stop. So here I am in Dundee, my 32nd town that I have walked. I'm pretty sure this is the city limit of Dundee, so I'm going to just walk to the corner, turn around, and do some other streets.
Ed says walking helped him keep a positive attitude through 2020. Almost 4 years later, he's logged over 2,900 miles. He keeps track of all his walks, marking them on his map, usually keeping his outings between 2 and 3 hours.
I just walk because the towns are there. I want to see them. It's my chance to get to know my state, get a chance to breathe fresh air, get some exercise.
Next up, Ed will stride through McMinnville. He estimates it'll take him about 20 walks to complete. Dundee will take him about 3 more. Now that Ed's found his passion, he hopes you'll find yours too.
Do what inspires you. If it inspires you to walk down to the block and go around the block and come home, great. And I'm off. Get out there. This earth is beautiful. It's a gift to us. Take advantage of it. Don't stay in your room all the time. You know, it's wonderful to just be alive on this planet. So enjoy it.
In Dundee, I'm John Goodwin.
I'm feeling good. Yeah, I'm ready for more.
Let's get out there.
Gosh, I just love that story. He found his passion, and it's such a healthy outlet in his own community. Now, we want to know your favorite outdoor spots and see your pictures too. You can share them by texting us at that number on your screen, 503-226-5088. Now, you may be wondering if Ed has plans to walk Portland. Well, based on his estimate, he says it would take him over 9 years. So he's sticking to smaller towns. The Portland Timbers are spreading access to soccer around the world. Timber Joey just got back from Rwanda, where the Timbers help fund building a pitch for young athletes. It's part of the club's Fields for All program that's helped set up 18 fields around the Portland area in the past 12 years. This is their first international project. The field went in on land first claimed by the community in the 90s by survivors of the Rwandan genocide. Children would often spend time playing soccer there. So then in 2011, Portland-based nonprofit African Road bought the land to transform it into a community hub. The Timbers then contributed $50,000 to the Togetherness Youth Cooperative to build the new field. It's now a junior regulation-sized pitch with 400 stadium seats for spectators. The nonprofit partners are also focused on breaking cultural barriers to get more girls involved in the sport. And the Oregon Food Bank is getting a $50,000 boost to combat hunger. This comes from Pacific Seafood following their 18th annual tuna fishing tournament in Garibaldi. Participants caught more than 10,000 pounds of tuna, which were canned by Pacific Seafood in Clackamas and then donated to the food bank as well. Win, win, win. Okay, if you are on TikTok, you may know about the subject of our next story. A police dog and his human counterpart have become quite famous online. The duo from Washington County is bringing smiles to people around the world. Our Ashley Grams has their story.
There's a lot more to Washington County Canine Radar than his bark. In fact, it's all about his bite. This 10-year-old Belgian Malinois, trained to track down suspects running from law enforcement, recently found fame on social media.
We got quite a bit of a following. And
that's Radar's partner, Sergeant Eamon O'Reilly.
He's been my partner for 9 years, so that's quite a bit of time for a police dog.
The two often spend their time in a police cruiser, with Radar in the back.
So I pop that open, and he pops his head out.
This is where O'Reilly and Radar's simple moments have turned into viral videos. The two share a snack break.
Happy birthday, bud.
Sometimes garnering more than 1 million views.
That's bananas to me. That's still just, it blows my mind.
But for Sergeant O'Reilly, it's about more than just sharing a meal with his partner.
I think there's always an interest in seeing a different side of law enforcement, and that includes law enforcement dogs.
This curiosity gives him the chance to change the narrative when it comes to the public's perception of officers.
People have an image of what they are, what we do, what they do, and seeing something unique from us or something that kind of makes us feel more like real people is interesting. Come here.
While Radar is a highly skilled working dog,
he loves this toy more than anything else.
He'll always be man's best friend.
You're so funny. You're so silly. Oh, good job.
Oh my gosh, that interaction there at the end is just so sweet. He's such a good boy. Radar's followers on social media, by the way, are often the ones who send him snacks. People from around the world send their favorite treat and wait for Radar's seal of approval. I just love that story. Thanks to Ashley Grams for that great story. And straight ahead, celebrating a 90th birthday is special in and of itself, but this couple is celebrating both of their 90th birthdays. The soulmates, born on the same day, take us back to the first time they discovered they shared such a connection. But before we head to break, I want to share a few more of your photos showing off your favorite house plants. Yeah, yesterday was National House Plant Appreciation Day. We got so many, I wanted to share some more. I'm just amazed by some of your green thumbs, like Kathy here, who says her oldest living house plant dates back to 1988. That's amazing. But Marcia has been keeping this plant going for more than 4 decades. Yet she says she's got this pothos plant 44 years ago. She's got her beat by just a bit after the birth of her daughter. It's been trimmed and replanted countless times. She even made that macrame hanger. I'm just super impressed. Welcome back to The Good Stuff. Whether you call it a coincidence or fate, this next story will have you wondering, what are the odds? Sean Giggy introduces us to the family from Dallas, Texas, who share more than a last name.
Happy birthday to you.
For Irene Masters of Burleson, the best part of celebrating a birthday is that she's never alone.
Yeah.
Irene turns 90 on Saturday, and incredibly, so does her husband.
And when you share a birthday, it's just a really special occasion.
Well, it helps me to remember it.
Irene and William were both born January 13th, 1934.
Your oldest.
He's older by 5 hours.
12:45 p.m.
They've been married 64 years, and from the moment they met, sharing a birthday was hard to believe.
I thought, he's teasing, that couldn't be true. So I asked him to take out his driver's license and let me look at it to see if he was telling me the truth.
What are the odds? Apparently, pretty good.
Here's the date.
Because not only were they both born January 13th, their daughter was too.
Absolutely. Very unusual, but
Yes, Charlotte also shares a birthday with her parents.
Yeah.
In fact, the only family member not born January 13th is Charlotte's older sister, Melinda.
people would feel sorry for her and bring her presents on my birthday. But then on her birthday, I never got any presents. But I'm not bitter about it, so that's good.
Truthfully, Charlotte says, sharing a birthday with her parents is the real gift.
It's just God's way of saying, you know, you three are linked in a way that only I could do.
And as they've always done, this weekend they'll have a party.
Yeah, that was what's so unique about all this.
However, none of the 6 grandchildren or 5 great-grandchildren share January 13th as a birthday. So this unlikely string of birthdays may be ending.
There's still time. Hint, hint.
Or maybe not.
I mean, what are the odds? What a cool story. Okay, when we come back, it's part of life. Just as natural as a birthday, though much harder to manage. We're getting a look at the good work of a local center helping people cope with grief.
you know, everyone kind of says, am I doing this right? Am I doing this grief thing right? And the reality is there's no right or wrong way to grieve.
Grief, unfortunately, is a part of life. When we lose a loved one, it has a profound impact. And the loss is certainly not good stuff. Helping others handle grief in a healthy way really is. And here in Portland, there's a place that's been helping our youngest community members heal for more than 40 years. I went to the Dougie Center for advice on addressing grief in our youth.
Grief is a complex reaction to a loss of any kind, but grief is also natural and normal and healthy.
An estimated 6 million children in the United States will experience the death of a parent or sibling by the age of 18. In Oregon, that's 1 in 15 kids. And supporting those children in their grief is the mission of the Dougie Center.
There's lots of opportunities for kids to express themselves.
Brennan Wood is the executive director.
We provide support, resources, community, and a safe space for kids and families to come and express their grief.
Oftentimes as adults, we just want to take the hurt away. We want to fix it, make it better, right? But Wood says that grief is a natural response to loss. So the Dougie Center focuses on giving kids and families tools to deal with it.
We can help them learn to express themselves in ways that are healthy and give them an opportunity to really experience what they're going through and not try to push it away or keep it at arm's length, when ultimately that's what gets people into patterns that may not be healthy in the long run. All of our groups begin and end with a talking circle.
Wood knows herself the impact of the Dougie Center. She first came here when she was 12 after losing her mom, Doris.
The Dougie Center was the single most helpful thing that happened for me in the aftermath of her death. It was an incredible place for me because I had so many people in my life who wanted to help me but didn't know how.
The Dougie Center model focuses on peer-led support groups where kids, teens, and families get to share their story.
It normalizes it. It gives them an opportunity to express their grief in a safe place with people who understand.
Wood sees the Dougie Center as a preventative program, using connection, support, and self-expression to help families and kids avoid negative or harmful outcomes of a traumatic loss.
It's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to punch your little brother, right? So how do we help kids understand that big emotions, big responses, all of that is natural and normal and healthy, but we need safe outlets to get that out of our body, get that out of our mind, to talk about things.
No matter what your age, grief is a healthy response to loss, and we need to find a healthy way to deal with it. Wood says that often starts with finding community and support.
It is this peer support model where kids help each other through this really horrible, awful thing that happened in their families, but they get to come together and they get to honor and remember the person who died, and they get to express themselves in any way that works well for them.
The Dougie Center is a nonprofit and offers their services at no cost. You can find a link to more information and more resources at kgw.com/healthiertogether. Still to come here on The Good Stuff, it's the event that'll have you dreaming of being out on the water. A look inside the Portland Boat Show next. But first, here are a few more of your houseplant pictures. the winter weather on the way has you dreaming of summer, you might want to check out the Portland Boat Show this weekend. Our Drew Carney headed out to the Expo Center on KGW News at sunrise to give us a sneak peek.
Trey has been a part of the show for some 40 years. Always in January, when it's nasty outside, they bring the boats inside and we talk about better weather to come. I am curious though, we have some video that we can show that because we can only see this part of the show. It's huge, takes up several halls here at the Expo Center. When people come out here, what can they expect at this year's boat show?
You know, it's everything, this year in particular, it's everything you'd expect in a boat show. It's a sea of boats, so plenty of boats to look at, all sizes, descriptions, all the major categories are represented. There's finally inventory, so you can come here and buy a boat and own a boat, so you don't have to wait. And the deals are excellent. It's probably the best opportunity to buy a boat that we've had in 5 or 6 years at least.
What was that stat you were giving me earlier in regards to fishing boats in the state of Oregon?
Fishing boats in the state of Oregon, they make up about 70% of boat ownership in the state, are used primarily for fishing.
70% of the boats owned in Oregon are used primarily for fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the pontoon we're on. You were telling me also about pontoons. This style of boat that we are seeing right now has really grown in popularity over the last several years. Is there a reason for that?
You know, first of all, we have a aging demographic, boating demographic, and it kind of matches up with folks that are in their 50s and 60s that want to spend time with the family. You know, these were introduced in this area probably about 20 years ago, and they've just continued to grow. Now you'll see probably 70 different models here at the show. They're super popular, and you'll see them from the Willamette and Lake Oswego and lakes around the Northwest, even down in Astoria. You'll see them in places you wouldn't expect to see them.
Okay, now I want a boat. Here are the details. The boat show started today. It runs through Sunday. The hours differ each day. You can find out more at pdxboatshow.com. Well, that is all the time that we have for now, but a reminder, you can share your photos, your stories of good stuff happening in your community with us by texting us at that number right there. So easy. That number's 503-226-5088. You can also email me at thegoodstuff@kgw.com. I love to see your story ideas and photos of the good stuff happening in your community, in your life. Thanks for taking a little time for the good stuff.